Stop chasing. Look, it's Marcel, aka Honey Bunny Sunny, and you know I'm on a mission to make you some money. Listen, today I got an incredible video for you. 3 opportunities to profit in the market this week. I will show you exactly what I'm seeing and break down how you can be profitable in these 3 stocks this week. I do apologize to all my rap fans. There will be no bars today, right? I'll probably come back. I think what works for me is like 2 of the watch list out of the week. I'll rap or whatever, right? So for those coming to hear that, you'll still get the breakdown of it, but it's going to be in talking format. Okay. The 3 stocks that I'm looking at are Coin, Palantir, and MRK. Right? If you guys follow correctly, these will be some beautiful opportunities, not only this week, but also in the weeks ahead. All right, let's lock in. But listen, just to get the housekeeping out the way, let's make sure that we hit that like button and the subscribe button to get this into the algorithm. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I don't want you to miss any other videos, right? Do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so first up, we have Coin, right? This setup on Coin is beautiful. Right, so as you can see, there was a little bit of a head and shoulders that formed back here in September, right? So September 10th is when it started forming the left shoulder, went up, created the neckline, formed the the right shoulder, had a slanted neckline right here, broke through the neckline, and then we saw it come down a significant amount. Right, it came back down to test the same level that it came, and tested in February. I'm sorry, in June. Right, so June of this year, we were around this 236 or 235.50 level. Right, and then fast, it broke out, did a bull flag, broke out some more, came down, gap down, consolidated, formed the head and shoulders, and then it broke out of that uptrend and down to retest that level. Okay, so just so that you guys are clear on how this stock moves. And of course, it's Coinbase, so it's moving based off of how crypto is behaving. So when crypto was doing really well in June, right, we saw the uptick, and then so forth and so on. Okay, so this right here is a beautiful setup. It's a double bottom, right? When a double bottom forms, that is a very high probability setup for the upside. A double bottom is simply when a stock comes down to a particular level, right? It makes a sharp move down to a particular level, and then it comes up and retraces a portion of that level. And at the time, you're not sure if it's forming a bear flag, if it's doing some sort of pullback or what, right? But as time goes on, you see that it pulled back down to retest that level, forming the double bottom. All right, now when you see 2 points at which a stock stops at and finds support, it's a double bottom and it's a strong reversal sign. Now we can't just make a decision just from this, right? I mean, we could, but that would be considered being a little risky or front running a play, as we like to say. So if you are a person that's a little bit more conservative and you want to play things a bit more on the safe side, then you want to wait to get confirmation on this particular play. Confirmation for me would be somewhere around the 243, 244 area, which would be a bullish candle closing on the next day. So as we go into this week is going to be a little bit shorter than most weeks. It's a holiday week, just like last week. So we had the early closing, and then the closing on the actual holiday. We got the same thing this week. So, I want you guys to make sure that you're being, pretty risk off and making sure that you're not losing money at the end of the year and setting a bad foundation going into the next year. So if we can get that confirmation tomorrow, that could be a good sign to enter swings. I like swings further out because when I see this, I see that it could come all the way up to about 325. Right now, there's already rumors that crypto is getting ready to start seeing a pump. We just don't know exactly when that's going to come. I believe in 30 days, though, with this formation, we do see that. Now, if we break below this level where we formed a double bottom, if we break below 233, then this play is invalidated. And when I say break below, I mean we break below and we close below significantly. So if we close it like 230 something, like 231, 232, that play is blown up, right? So we're not interested in anymore until it regains traction. Now, that's one entry, right, to the upside. Like I said, if we get that bullish confirmation tomorrow. Another great entry, if you want to be even more conservative, is a break of this neckline right here, which is at about 285. So what I like to do is I like to take advantage of multiple moves, but I don't like to necessarily try to catch the entire move all the time in one play. It's hard to predict that. Now, if I'm trying to catch the whole move all in one play, then I'm swinging something out, in a leap for a year, 2 years down the road. That's going to allow me to scoop up all of the areas of pumps that I can't anticipate, right? That's just going to leave me in the play as if I own the stock, but I'm getting paid as if I own the option, which is what it is, a long-term option. All right. So if we get a break above this neckline, this thing could sail up to 325. We're talking about, like a $40 move, which is good on any price stock. Okay. So this is Coinbase. I hope that makes sense to you all. If you have any questions about entries and stuff like that, just drop them in the comments. Again, I like to see this, have a bullish close tomorrow with a higher high and a higher low for first entry. I would take that up to about the neckline or somewhere close to the neckline, maybe about 270. Take profits, sit back and wait to see if it wants to break this area, break that area, re-enter on continuation. Okay, so that's Coinbase. Let's go to Palantir. Oh, also on Coinbase, right? I told you guys before that I love when the daily and the weekly agree. When the daily and the weekly agree, you typically are going to get it to move in that direction. So what do we also have on the weekly? We got the double bottom with the W formation, right? So this thing is ready to go, right? It's touched this level now 3 times. So we should be ready to go back up. So again, a bullish confirmation tomorrow, right? A nice green candle somewhere up in here would be beautiful. This is on the weekly, so it wouldn't necessarily be this high, but something that has a higher close than the previous day, which was Friday. So, all right, that's that. Let's go over to Palantir. I really want you guys to make sure that you're understanding these levels and formations and setups, so that when you're not on YouTube watching me, you can identify these in the market. All right, continue to do your homework, continue to do your research, continue studying, right? Continue taking care of yourselves, and you have nowhere to go but up. All right. So on Palantir, we have a failed 2 up, right? So if you're not familiar with the strat method, a failed 2 up is when something, it starts off a little bit higher than previous day, and then it fails to go higher, and then it actually winds up coming and closing lower, right? So we got the failed 2 up on Palantir. And what I did was I went ahead and I drew a trend line right here. Now I'm looking at this on a weekly. I'll go to the daily in a second, but I drew a trend line right here, and I drew it so that I could identify the uptrend, so that when it does break this, I know that there's a change of direction. Trend lines are one of the most simple and fundamental ways to determine direction, right? You connect at least 2 points on a line to determine a direction. The more points that connect on that line, the stronger the trend, so that when it does break that, you know for sure that it is going in that opposite direction. We wait for confirmation once it breaks out, right? 1 or 2 candles outside of it is a great confirmation. Sometimes stocks will come back and retest that, but we get into trades that are far enough out that allow us to, to be able to handle that drawdown. Or you can be a person that has extreme patience and decides that you want something to break down and then come back and retest, right? It doesn't always retest. When something breaks out, sometimes it continues straight up or straight down, depending on which direction it's breaking out of. But a lot of times it will come back and retest that trend line just to be sure. And that's called a pullback. So we want to, however, your strategy is set up, just make sure that you honor that. But I always want to show you the different scenarios that can take place on these stocks. So we're gonna go to the daily. See, so that forms the same trend line on the daily. Obviously, there's just more candles because we spread it out a little bit and zoomed in. But again, we got a 3 down candle. So again, according to the strat method, that's just a bearish candle. and this bearish candle engulfs the previous day. So that is letting me know that this wants to come down. Again, I'm not taking an early entry. I want to wait and see if we can, start to break below this trend line before getting entries. When I take swings, the way that I typically enter, because I get this question all the time, like, when do you know to enter for a swing? The last 10 minutes is the same thing as the full day going by. So in the last 10 minutes, you can see the shape of the candle. It's a very, very rare occasion that in the last 10 minutes, the shape of that candle on the daily is going to change. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that in those last 10 minutes, you're sitting there and you're watching, and then you take entry based off of what that candle is doing for the day. So if we get a confirmation break on the candle on Monday below the trend line, then that would be a good time to enter in that last 10 minutes of Monday. Okay. All right. Now, last but not least, we got MRK. Now, I want you to understand how MRK works, right? I mentioned before in the video that healthcare is typically going to rise when technology is coming down. So we see that technology is poised to come down based off of Palantir and other stocks. I just showed you the failed 2 up and the bearish engulfing on Palantir. So what does that mean? That means that healthcare should be continuing. Now, we made money hand over fist this week. If you're in the Prosperity Collective, you already know we made money hand over fist with MRK. We rolled this up. We got it, down here on the breakout of the bull flag, and we rolled it up. People made, 200%, 300%. It was a beautiful trade, as I like to say, right? But that took us, to the top. That was the initial target, 106. I said it last week in my wrap, 106 in part, right? So we got the 106. Everything worked out with last week's watch list. So now I'm sitting here like, okay, there's 2 things that could happen. We could come back down because we're about 2% above the previous swing high, right? So the top of this, bull flag is where we currently are. We're about 2% higher than that. So if you see right here, when you measure this out, it's about 2% on the stock higher than this price right here. So that's good. That's a significant close. That means that we can continue. But again, like I said, when something breaks out, there's 2 things that can happen. It can continue and really run, or it could decide that it wants to come back and retest the support level, which is the high of here. If you recall in my previous watch list, I drew out the distance for the bull flag on MRK. So the way that you do that, just for review, is to take the up move, right? You measure the up move and then you attach it to the breakout point of the bull flag. This was the breakout point, so I attached that. And when we scroll down, well, let's just make it a little more condensed. We see that this has the potential to go to about 122.23. All right. Now, we never have to catch full moves when we're talking about trading on the weekly or intraday. We just want to get a part of it. Now, if you get it out longer, like I said, then you can try to catch this full move, but you want to get this at least, a few months or a year out to be able to, get to this and beyond. In the short or medium term, we are trying to get to about here, right? Half the distance. So we've already made it past the top. Again, like I said, it could possibly retest if you want to wait for that. But if we do get, bullish confirmation, just like anything else, higher high, higher low tomorrow, that shows continuation. A Merrill Boesel candle would be even better, but we would know that somewhere in the middle of the day. All right. So if we get a strong close, this would be something, amazing to enter and to ride up to about 115 before deciding to possibly peel it off. Again, give yourself some time on these trades. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Give yourself some time on these trades. You know what I mean? You don't want to enter a trade without giving yourself some time. You don't want to have that drawdown, especially with the weirdness of this market. Okay. So I'm looking at this video. I'm not sure if the recording cut off. Hopefully it didn't cut off. If the recording did cut off in this video, I will just post like a screenshot of it, but I'm not sure. And I'm recording this. So, I just want to let you guys know, I'll edit it out and, make it work. But yeah, that's it. Those are the 3 stocks that I'm looking at. Palantir, Coin, MRK, really good opportunities to profit this week. Make sure you take advantage of it. Again, if you got any questions, we don't want you going into the week unsure, just drop them in the comment section below. Also, if you are looking for a trading home, the Prosperity Collective is the way. All right. We are a family in there. We got people getting all types of, life-changing, profits, right? People leaving their jobs, people, doubling, tripling, quadrupling their account, right? Paying for travel, paying for cars, being able to do all the things that they want to do, right? Like freedom is the ultimate goal. All right. But we're not just focused on the technicals of trading. It's about the person, the individual. Anywhere you go, there you are. All right. Remember that quote. Anywhere you go, there you are. So you have to make sure that you are being the best version of yourself so that the things that you decide to endeavor upon always work out for you. Right. There's a very, few things you just got to master. Right. That's your patience, your discipline, right? And your timing. Understanding those three things are going to allow you to go far in anything that you endeavor upon. But like I said, wherever you are, there you go. So how you behave, right? The little small characteristics about yourself, your little character flaws, right? These are all going to play a role in the success that you have in anything that you decide to do. Okay, so it's not just as simple as the technicals. We do got to get that, but it's just one aspect, right? The same way working out, it's not just about working out, it's about nutrition and eating right. So we want to make sure that we're doing the inner work. We want to make sure that we're showing up solid and whole, right? Not fearful, not scared, but showing up certain in that God energy, that God frequency, and doing exactly what it is that we know we can do. All right. It's time to lock in. Again, if you're looking to join a trading community, you're tired of doing it by yourself, hit the link in the description below, and I'll see you on the other side. All right. It's always love over here. And remember, invest smart, live free. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.